But I chose my jacket on purpose.
I mean,
Very much on purpose.
we, speaking of themes,
Right? So,
we
love a
do
theme.
love a theme.
We love a theme. And because I don't have really cool parapet hair like someone else does, looks gorgeous,
Parapet
by the way.
hair.
You're not getting
Thank you.
thrown off of a parapet. Um,
Oh,
I went
we're
with
going to get
flight
into
leather
this, but
instead.
I'm not even going to be on a parapet. Like,
Okay.
I
So,
would like to think that I would, but
fair.
let's be real. Nah.
Fair,
Nah.
fair. Very fair. I will say, just to set the record straight, we're talking Fourth Wing today, all of it, and
It
there will be
had to
spoilers.
happen.
Right, and there will be spoilers. There 100%. This is an episode of spoilers. So if you haven't read it yet, come back later or put it on mute so that we get the view, and then come back later. Make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe in 25. Do it now,
Subscribe in
and then come
25.
back.
And like this video so that you know which one to come back to.
Exactly.
It just
Please.
makes sense.
Please. And
Yes.
then go read the books and come back and listen to what we have to say because we have plenty of things to say. So I chose not so flight leathers today. You chose parapet hair.
Oh. I like
I don't think
it.
I don't think this jacket is taking me anywhere on a dragon. But we read all three of these books in 1 month, which is not hard for us, right? Like we can do it
I mean, you could even shorten that. Some of us read them
in a
within
week.
like a weekend or a week, but
I think
I
I
have
went
things
2
to say.
weeks. I would
We'll
give myself
talk
2
about
weeks.
that.
Yes, I'll give myself 2
Yes.
weeks. But I've had this stack of books for the first two. I've had the first two for a while. I found them at Book Outlet, bookoutlet.com, and they were one of those that was like, oh, you can like get them for a percentage off because they're overstock from like Target or Barnes and Noble or like wherever. And there's also some where you can get where it's like, oh, they're slightly like the cover is slightly bent or something, and so they're less like fine, whatever. I'll take them. So I've had Fourth Wing and Iron Flame for a long time, probably over half a year. I've just had them
And
sitting
I
on my
have been
shelf.
actively avoiding reading Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and anything to do with
Right?
this. Yes.
Right?
Just because the hype was so huge.
And we don't do hype books
And
usually.
we don't usually. And, you know, you've had these books for a while, and it was like, maybe we should do some new ish
Yeah.
things. And, like, this is totally in our alley of fantasy,
And
dragon,
dragons,
magic in
magic.
like a real world. Real world.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Magic
so
magic
okay.
utilized, right? Not just
And we did.
accidental.
I think we agreed in a previous video.
We
So it
did.
was on record. We
We had to do it.
had
It was
to.
right
We
after
had,
Empress.
yeah, because we read that so quickly and we were like, well,
I guess we're
apparently
doing the
we're
next one.
moving on.
And when I tell you, I devoured Fourth Wing.
Fourth
I
Wing was so easy to get
God,
into.
it was so easy. It was
Yeah.
so quick. I loved all of it, right? And I didn't think I was going to love all of it, and I did. And I was kind of like, all right. And I think I think I had messaged you. I was like, all right, I'm starting Fourth Wing. And then like the next day, I was like, all right, I finished Fourth Wing. And you were like, what?
I was like, I haven't started yet. Hold on. We're doing this.
Exactly.
Okay, we're jumping in. And then I did. I started it and I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
It was so, like, I know I already said this, but it was so easy to fall into. Like, you fell into the middle of a situation
Yes.
and you're like, what is happening? Who are these people? Why are they arguing about this? Like, this whole thing, right? And then you
Yep.
find out it's her mom and her sister, and you're
Yes.
like, holy shit, wait, that kind of changes the trajectory of what I just read.
And why I care?
Yeah, and now I'm like super invested because WTF, and like just reading this whole thing. It was,
Yes.
I think easy is the best word. Like I think this is a it's a good entry level fantasy book if you have not
Yeah.
delved into this world,
Yeah.
but also like there's no FOMO if you miss out. So don't like
Yeah.
freak out if you're like I haven't read it or whatever. Like you're not missing world changing, life changing things. Like it is a great story.
Yeah. And I
So I'll
feel
say
like
that.
I feel like I've had a lot of conversations with people on threads who were like, oh, it's been on my shelf or I've been meaning to read it or like I just haven't done it. I think they're the same boat we are. Like it got so big so
Yeah.
fast that people are like, either I read it or like I'm going to read it in 5 years. There's no like in
Yeah.
between sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like now was an okay time because there were enough books out Apparently there are 2 more coming. It is supposed to be
You
a
know, this
5
was
book series.
originally only supposed to be 3.
Yes, that's
This
what I read.
was originally supposed to be 3.
Yes,
Yes.
which makes a lot of sense for book 3, which we'll get into. But I have significant opinions on book 3, which came out in January. And so I was like, oh, it came out in January, which means I can access it, right? I can get to it. So I can do Fourth Wing, I can do Iron Flame, and then I can jump right into Onyx Storm, which I will say, title names, great title names. Like, love
And
the
they
titles.
made so much sense. Like, it didn't make sense in
And
the
then it did.
beginning, but then as they were introducing, like, where all the cadets were going, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, the
Okay.
title makes sense now. She's going.
Right.
Well, wasn't it originally like she was going to Second Wing? And I was like, no, 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 no. What?
Right? And then they like
How are we
talked and all
getting
of a
Fourth
sudden,
Wing?
yeah. And then we
Yeah.
talked all of a
And
sudden.
then all
It
of a
was
sudden
like,
she
oh.
switched, and I was like, okay,
Yeah, it was Dane's.
that
Dane's issue.
aligns. That aligns. Yes.
Yes, it was Dane, and then it was Xaden. So I have to say, I know I don't typically connect as deeply with the main character as I do with some of the other characters, right? Because it's from Violet's perspective. The whole book is the whole series is essentially from Violet's perspective. And I usually don't like commit them to memory because it's just us. Like we're just reading it along with her, so I really don't commit her to memory. I committed a lot of her to memory, which is
Unusual.
something, right? But something to be said for the writing because you learn and
yeah.
all of the things that you learn about her and how she looks and how she moves and how she acts and all these things, they all matter to the story.
Yes.
It's not just putting you in
is
and being like,
true.
oh, this is, she has but like dark and silver hair. Like why does that, it matters. Like it matters. It matters that she's small. It matters that she's frail. It matters that she's easily hurt. Like all of those things. So I actually connected with her. And then I usually don't fall into the main male character as fast because I'm like, I don't trust you. And I totally didn't trust him. You're not supposed to. Totally didn't trust
still
him, but I
don't,
didn't
but-
like him. Like I did not like him.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's totally fine that like he can hang out. Like we can see, like I'm cool with him protecting her. You know who I didn't trust? Dane. I never trusted Dane.
Really?
Not once.
So, to kind of piggyback off of this, I will say, yes, I enjoyed the characters thoroughly. Thoroughly. All of them. Even the supporting friends group.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like everybody was just exquisite. They were all great. Would I be friends with these people in real life? Absolutely not. Would I have avoided them at all costs? Yes.
That is fair. Okay.
Yes, because I think for the story, it made sense that they were very aggressive, very headstrong, very, I'm going to do this,
Yeah.
and you're not going to tell me no, and I don't care. Like, I'm throwing caution to the wind, and blah, 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 and I have all the answers, and I know what we're going to do, and I'm taking charge. And I think if I was in a classroom with them, I'd be like,
They're
Shut
talking
up.
again. No one wants to hear about your dragon click.
oh, you have 2 dragons. Meh.
So fun. No, I think, you know who I would be friends with? Jacinia.
Right? I'm like, that is probably where I would be. That is probably who I would be because the scribe makes sense to me. Would I love to be a dragon rider? Yes. Would I love to envision myself as Violet? Also, yes.
Right.
Do I think I have the cojones to do this? No. Absolutely not.
Fair. But I don't think I
Don't
would,
send me.
right? I wouldn't be an infantry person. I wouldn't be a healer. Good God, no. And after I learned more about the scribe quadrant, like, I don't know that I want to do that either.
Right? Like, if I could just not. Don't. But, I don't know. Send me to murder Hogwarts? No, thank you.
Murder
Like-
Hogwarts.
They're not even giving them, like, instruction or anything. They're like, get on the bridge.
Yep. See you, bye.
And if you make it across, like, great, fantastic. And also, people can kill you, like, just because
Right, they
they
could
feel
just
like it.
shove you
I'm
off the top.
sorry.
Yeah.
Are
And
there that many of us that we could just do this?
can we just have this happen? Is that a thing that's going on?
Right.
No, it is not a thing.
No.
But I don't know. I think originally I would have been like totally scribe quadrant, like scribe
Scribe.
quadrant. Say that 5 times fast. I think I totally would have been like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one for me. But I also think, do I think I could make it as a writer? No. Do I think I have any chance of making it across that parapet? Absolutely not. Even with the right shoes and my hair pulled back and all of the things. I don't know that I could make it, but I think I would want to try.
And a shoe too big.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
and
that's
then
different.
um what was the wall?
The gauntlet.
Was that the gauntlet? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no. That
Yep.
probably
Like
would
I
have
don't
got me.
know, but also I'd be in great shape. Like
Right.
I'd
I
be in
would.
great shape. So we get through all of like the first year. We get through the threshing. We get through all of that stuff. Do you know who my favorite character is in the entire series?
In the entire series. Okay, who? And
And
Darna,
Darna.
please. She's my favorite too.
Oh, is she?
I'm like, I don't care about the people. I don't care. I love listening to Taryn and
Yes.
Darna talk to
Talk.
Violet. I'm like, I
Yes.
could just have a story about these three because, like, I can hear his old man grumbly,
Right.
like, sarcastic voice, and then her, like, doo, 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 doo. And I
Right.
just envision this little stegosaurus from, like, Land Before Time
I know
for
exactly who
her.
you're talking about.
Yes, like, that is who I picture for her. And I'm like, these are my favorite. Yeah, my favorite
These
too.
guys. And I don't hate Sagel either. Like, and I will tell you, I'm probably mispronouncing most of these names. I have no idea. I looked nothing up. This is just how they are in my head. So if I mispronounced them and ruined something for somebody, so sorry. Take it up with the spelling. So
But also,
Sagel, I
if you
love.
pronounce it differently,
Tell me,
put it in the comments.
right? So
You
when I
tell
read
us
the
how you're
fourth one,
pronouncing it,
right? As when I read
because
the
we're
fourth
gonna
one,
read it the same
I don't know.
way.
So I like the three of them as a combination. I love the relationship that Violet has with Tarn and Darna. I love that it seems so much more like they support each other and care about each other because you get to learn a little bit more about how other people handle their dragons or like the conversations they have with their dragons, like Riddick, right?
Yeah,
Riddick and
we
his
find
dragon. I'm
out
like,
later.
what are they
Yeah,
doing? Like, right? Or
yeah.
is it Imogen? Imogen. I don't know how I started say her name. I actually don't hate her either because I know why she is the way she is. Right? I wish she was developed a little bit more, but I don't dislike her.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're gonna get more of her,
I hope so. I kind of hope
just
so.
knowing how book 3, but we'll get there.
Yes. So I just feel like book one was it feels like it was so fast.
It
Like
was.
I
It
think it was just
does.
because I consumed it so quickly.
And that could also be it, but it was just so easy to get
Yeah.
into and to find yourself in that world. And then, spoiler alert, finding out at the end, like, her brother has been alive this whole
Oh,
time.
I was pissed. I was
And then
pissed. I shut the book and immediately grabbed the second one.
I
And
was
I was
like,
like,
okay, well, I'm moving on to the second. Like, yeah, yeah.
immediately. Thank
Thank
God.
goodness
Right?
we had them.
Right? Because I will tell you, I've said this before, I'm that person that if you end me on a cliffhanger of some sort, I will grab the next book and read the first chapter immediately, just so I can sleep that night. Also, I couldn't read this series before bed. Because then I was up all night dreaming
Dragon
about riding on the backs of
dreams.
dragons and battling things. I was exhausted when I woke up. Like because like I read it like Friday to Saturday. So I read Fourth Wing on Friday and like stopped it when I could like peel my eyes away and then went to bed and spent the entire night on the back of a dragon doing whatever the hell I was doing and then woke up the next day and finished it. Like was up early because I was like not sleeping anyways, already exhausted, been on a parapet for
I'm
9 hours.
already
Like
awake.
like
Yes.
what are we doing? And then when I read Iron Flame, it took me a little bit longer. And it took me a little bit longer because there was more going on and I was more invested. And so I think I was like savoring parts of it a little bit more. So I didn't read it as fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did. I believe I was texting you updates as I
Yes.
finished Fourth Wing, and I was like,
Are you done? I was like, not
are
done.
we okay? And then we're moving into Iron Flame. And okay, so honestly, I gave Fourth Wing 4 stars.
Fair.
Solid fantasy. Thoroughly enjoyed. Iron Flame and Onyx Storm were like 3.5-ish for me. Iron
Fair.
Flame slowed with so much drama. This was like, I kept thinking in my head, this should be like subtitled A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Right? Things
Because
just,
it
I
was
was like,
like
every time.
everything kept going wrong. And I was
Right?
like, do we really need more problems at this point?
I think Iron Flame had the one with the general or the whoever he was, Captain so and so. What was his name? Captain
The
Torture.
M.
Sure. No, it
Yes,
wasn't
I think
Melgren.
it's
Melgren is the like the
is the
highest dude.
replacement guy. Okay.
I don't know.
Yes.
Whoever it was who did the torturing, which like super well written, hated him to the core. Like he was a bad guy.
Absolutely.
But the portion of the book where they like are end up on some school thing, one of their field trips of death,
Yeah.
and then they end up in a freaking cave and they have to fight off this dragon who is now riderless and like blah blah blah. That didn't need to happen. Like we could have just like that could have been a story where like Taryn just like, oh yeah, by the way, took care of that dragon. We're all good now. Whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
That could have been done away with. We could have kept that. I appreciate what it did for the relationship between Violet and Kat. I don't hate Kat. I understand her. I don't hate her.
But we could have brought
We could have
that
done that somewhere else.
a different way.
Yeah.
It felt very much like a side story.
Yes.
And also like more murder plots. Like they're just sending these kids, and this wasn't even a like that because that was during war games.
Yeah.
But they sent them to legit like
War. Yes.
They set them out to fail.
On purpose
I'm like,
because they wanted to get rid of them. Like, come on.
why? Why
Right?
would you do that?
So all of that was the worst. I told you I didn't like Dane from the beginning. He felt a little bit too pushy to me. And then when we find out what happens at the end of Fourth Wing, you're like, oh, not only like do you say you want to protect her, but then you lied to her and used your signet against her, and then told your freaking dad, like, hate that. But I do love that mom didn't know about it. Because I did not like mom. And so I was like, thank God that was like
Did
the
not
only
like.
redeeming thing.
You're
She
like,
was
how are you
not.
letting this happen?
Right? Like,
She wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
She truly had no idea.
We'll give her that. And then I will tell you when Fourth Wing or when Iron Flame ended, and I was like, I don't have the next book. I overnighted it.
Okay. We have to have like I need to put this out
Go ahead.
there. It was okay, so we find out, spoiler, at the end of Iron Flame, we go through all this drama, and now Xaden has become Venom.
And I was like, oh my God, I was so mad.
And
I was
that's like
no,
legit
no,
the
no.
last
Sentence.
thought that we're
Right.
left with
Right.
in the book. And I'm like, oh, I'm immediately sliding into book 3. And Meg texts me and she's like, I think we should break up the podcast. We should not continue our partnership.
Didn't
And
say
I was
that.
like-
Didn't say that.
And I was so sad. Yeah, your exact words were, I need a break from dragons.
Exactly. I never said we should break up the podcast, but
That's
I
what
can,
it read like to me.
I can understand how that's how it sounds. But I was like, because I was exhausted after Iron
like-
Flame. I was exhausted. I was like,
I was like, how do you not? And you overnighted the book. I'm like, how are you walking away from this? Because at this point, I had already like
you were done.
I was already into it, like moving on, and I was like, I have things to say.
It did
Because
yeah.
go ahead.
Because I was so exhausted because I think I had consumed them so quickly, and so much had happened in Iron Flame that I was like,
There was a lot.
I'm tired. Like
There was a lot.
I was like, there's so much stress in my body because of this book series. Like I need a few minutes. Like I need to just, and the thing is I read the end of Iron Flame, and then I had the book, like I ordered it the night before, and it showed up at my doorstep before softball practice that next day. And I was like, I will read it softball practice. And then it was raining. Like it was that misty rain. And I was like, I can't read my brand new hardcover book outside during the rain. I was like, fine, I'll read it when I get home. And then I got home and, kids were around and we were doing all sorts of things. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that. I need time to focus. And then as I sat there and I was like, okay, now I'm like annoyed. I'm mad. Like I'm mad at everything that happened in Iron Flame, and I don't want to read Onyx Storm right now because how dare you allow him to become Venom? Like I was annoyed at the author. I was like, you can't do that. Because that's the one thing that we've been worried about the whole time. And now that's what we're going to do. And so it did. I stopped. I didn't read it that day. I think I started it. And then I didn't finish it until that next Thursday. So 5, which is not long. 5 days is not long, but it's long enough when you
Right.
have things
Well,
to say,
when I was
right? And
waiting
so
so patiently because
I
I was like, I can't text you about it.
I officially apologized. And I think after I finished reading it, I texted you and I was like, I'm so sorry I made you wait. Like, I
Yeah,
get it. I
I
understand.
get it now. And
I
I'm
get it
like,
now.
oh, thank God we could talk about it.
Yes, because I will tell you, Onyx Storm wasn't my favorite. I wanted to like it so
No.
much more. It wasn't my favorite. There was a lot, and I think you had mentioned this before. There was a lot of battle, like a lot of battle planning, a lot of battle, like, and I was like, okay, like we
And that
get
was
it,
hard to keep, like, wrap my mind around because now you're trying to figure this out. And I'm like, I'm just not interested in thinking strategically
right?
in all this and like understanding why we're doing this and why this has significance. And I think I got a little lost in that one. I did enjoy the dragon part of
Yes,
it because we
the
were
search.
more dragon focused.
Yep, I love
We
the search
did
for the
find,
Irids. Irids,
I'm
Irids
pretty sure I cried when they found the Irids and they
said no,
turned them down and they
right?
were like, you are an embarrassment to us. This is not what you were supposed to be. And I was like,
How dare you? How dare you
and
have
she
said
was
that to
like,
our girl? Like,
right? And it like you could just tell like it broke her because Andarna was so excited
yes,
about finding her family and doing all this and like figuring out where she came from
yeah,
and then realize like they rejected her because of how she had been raised, but like you weren't there to raise her with your ways, so of course somebody else is going to raise her with their ways, like.
yeah,
And they're like, you failed your test because you weren't supposed to do that. And she's like, what is
right?
happening? Like, I felt the heartbreak for her because, yeah, she's my girl.
Right?
For
And I was like,
sure.
how could you do that? And then when there's that redemption of him showing back
Which
up and
you
being
kind of
like,
felt. You
yeah,
kind of
because he was
felt.
so hesitant. For,
And
he
he
was like,
was
I'm not
like,
ready to leave her yet. And so the fact that he came
yes.
back and he was like, you are of my line, like I will be happy to teach you. But the fact that he was like, but you're gonna have to break that bond with Violet. And I was
And
like, I was like, please don't. No.
yes.
And so,
Yes.
and then of course I cried again because I was like, I can't believe like
Yep.
that sucks. Like I'm not tied to, like I like the dragons and I get it. I am more upset when the dragon dies and then I'm like, oh, like Liam?
Yeah.
Oh, Liam was great. And the fact that we lost Liam, right? And I actually
That was
appreciate
so
Sloane,
hard.
all the things. But I think I'm more sad when the dragons die. And I'm like, yeah, your rider's going too, but I'm more upset when the dragons die. And so I'm like, I please don't do that. Like no more dead dragons.
I can't do it.
I just I don't know. There's so many things, but I was so upset when and understanding, right? Where they were like, "Hey, you have to break your bond if you're going to come and learn." And for Violet to be like, "This is all that she's ever wanted," like knowing full well. But I think that's the beauty of the bond between Taryn and Violet and Darna because they understand the feeling behind what all of them want versus
Yeah.
just like a you I chose you because of this thing. And I appreciate
Yeah.
that Taryn is actually like teaching her. I feel like the other dragons are expecting a lot of their riders. Like you are to reach whatever level I have set for you. Where Taryn's like, no, no, no. We'll figure this out because I know your potential.
I know you're capable. Yeah,
Right?
we
I
just have
know
to
where
find
you
a
could
way.
go. Yes.
Yes.
So I really
Yes.
appreciate that and I like that we get to see the inside of that. I also think it's very interesting that Xaden and Violet can talk like mind speak because I
I think
don't
that's
like that in
because
other
of
books.
scale.
Taran and Sagel. Yeah.
Eagle? Yeah,
I don't know.
scale.
I'm going with Scale.
That would be an excellent name for a dragon. Scale.
Right? Scale.
Seagull, yes. Which is
So,
interesting because now they have this whole little thing, but they can choose which line they
which
want to use.
thing
So
to
like she
follow?
can talk to her dragons, but then Taryn can shut her out, but then Seagull can shut out or open up, and now they
Yep.
can talk to each other's dragons, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
So
crazy.
I thought that was interesting.
Also, when Andarna did disappear, she did have to break that bond. The way it was presented, I thought it was going to be years,
That it was going to
like
take.
several years. Yeah, like the teaching, I feel like she came back so quick, and maybe I just didn't see like,
What do you mean she came back?
didn't they come back to help them in the last battle? They
Did
showed
I?
up. Am I making this up?
Did I miss this? Because I thought she wasn't back yet.
No, yeah, I thought they...
The blue showed up and fired the wardstone, right? The blue showed up and fired the wardstone.
Yeah, but I
And
thought
then
they
they...
helped in the battle. In the big battle at the end.
I might have missed that. I was really upset about what was happening to Xaden. So it's very possible. I will go back and see it.
Might
But
have made this up. But I was like, I thought they came back and like helped them.
if she came back, if Andarna came back, and I missed it, one, I'm upset. And two, that is really fast. Because it's supposed to be years of her training.
That's
that
what I
she's
was
supposed to be
thinking.
learning.
Maybe I inferred this. I don't know. We'll have to
I
check
don't know.
now.
We will have to check. I'm not sure.
We'll update.
Hey everybody, Editing Meg here, and in rewatching this as I edit, I recognize that 100% did actually notice that Andarna came back because of the whole portion where they talk about how the fire didn't work a second time or whatever it was. So yes, Abby was right. I completely apparently was in my fever dream of post-reading haze and completely forgot this very important part. I was like, but it's one of those that like...
Sure. She unexpectedly returns to Violet at the end of Onyx Storm during the final battle against the silver-haired Venin, Theophany. Theophany?
Theophane? Theophane? See, I
wanna
don't
say it
remember
like
that.
Stephanie. Theophany.
Theophany. I don't know.
Yeah, her absence is relatively short-lived. Because it says her departure from Violet's life is a significant event in Onyx Storm, but her absence is relatively short-lived.
Honestly, I don't remember her coming back. I think, like I said, it
was very brief.
And
like, it was to win the battle.
I read that battle so fast because I was like, I just have to know, I just have to know which one of them channels, changes, whatever. Like, I need to know, does Violet become Venin? Does Xaden decide that he's going to channel? Like, because something has to happen. Something has to happen.
Yeah, which is also very strange because we just realized Violet's second signet is coming out.
And I'm not excited about the second signet.
Leaving.
Right?
I don't understand how that helps in the scheme of things, but I know it's going to be very useful.
Yes.
Because they're all like useful in some points.
And I think it'll help kind of like an Inception. Have you seen the movie Inception?
Mm-hmm.
And where they can kind of go in and like pluck threads to change the way people act. I think that's the same kind of thing, right? I think she'll be able to go in and influence because she's a dreamwalker or whatever it is. But I don't know. It's not my favorite signet. What would your signet be? Do you know? I have not spent enough time thinking of this.
I haven't because I did kind of think about this as everybody's was being introduced because they are not typical, I guess.
Like I would not have chosen lightning for
right.
Violet.
I'm like,
would not have chosen lightning.
I don't know, but like very powerful. Shadows, very
makes
powerful.
Sense. Shadows make sense for Xaden though, right?
Yeah. But it's incredible that they're all doing it. Hello, Imogene. And her mind wiping.
Right? Like, that's perfect. Love that.
Which then comes in at the end and you're like...
Oh, God.
What? So I have to tell you, this one also felt very dramatic. With the battle, with everything, I feel like it was a lot of buildup. And the way it ended is a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are upset about it or like looking for the next one,
but it's how all of them ended. Like we knew this was going to happen.
I don't care. I'm gonna be a good girl and not come looking for him like he asked.
I'm not.
I had to throw that in there for you.
You did. Thank you. Thank you so much. But
I'm like, oh God, more drama.
Right, but I get why he asked. Like knowing what he did. And the fact that now she got a giant rock on her left hand.
And she knows what she did, but because she asked Imogene to wipe her memory, so some shit went sideways.
Something happened.
We did something major.
Right.
But honestly, like if that is how the series ended for me, that would be fine.
It would not be fine for me.
I am fine with this. Like,
I need more
this is not
Andarna.
the
I'm
popular
not fine.
opinion. I know. But I'm like, I'm not stressed about the next book coming out because it almost feels like, and they lived happily ever after.
But they
Where
didn't.
you don't really know like what comes after that. That's
Right.
just, and so now it's like, here's where the story ends, and you can kind of do what you fill it in yourself.
I appreciate that because I needed a couple days of recovery after that because I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean don't come looking for me?
Yeah.
To the point that when we had dinner that night, like we sat down for dinner, the kids were like, how was your day? And I was like, okay, I just finished a book. And they were like, what was it about? And I was like, all right, let me tell you. So we go through this, the Cliff Notes version of this book, and I get to the end and I'm like, and then I was like, she comes back and she's got a ring on her finger and she's like, and he says, don't come looking for me. And Addie was like, why? And I was like, I know. I have no idea. She was like, well,
I don't know.
like, where's the next book? And I was like, it hasn't been finished yet. And she was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, wait, like, I don't know. But I also appreciate that she gets that about the story and how it felt. And like,
And that you
the fact
explained it like in such a way that she could
she was
also
okay.
pick up on the.
But that gives me a little bit of hope that like I will eventually pass these books to her when she is good and ready for them many years down the road. But I think she will be one of those readers who gets it. Like who just, there are certain readers who are in it for the facts and the knowledge and the learning and those sorts of things. And there are some that are in for the enjoyment and we can be all of those readers at the same time. But I think she's definitely going to be one who gets into the story. And so I absolutely loved that. But this book, this was the lowest rated out of the 3 for me. And I think it's because there are 5 books that it could have been a 3-book series and we could have done whatever we needed to do in book 3. But I think there was a lot, like we said, there was a lot of battle in this one. There was a lot, like Violet had a lot of points of strength and leadership, even though she doesn't want to be a leader. She had a lot of points about that, but I think they were mostly forced on her for the good of whatever. But I also feel like we did that a lot. Like every time we got into a room, we had to make a decision. Yeah, every time we had to make a decision, it was like, well, Violet's going to come in and like she or Xaden's going to put their foot down and nobody's going to be able to say anything. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like again,
This is why
Yeah.
they would drive me nuts because I'm like, they're gonna come in and they know what they're doing. I also I don't love the secrecy behind like why she is the way she is.
Wait, what?
And
Who
now
is
we're
Violet?
finding out. Yeah, so like she was dedicated, but not
Yes.
fully like involved, and so, but that's also another avenue that we have to get so detailed in to understand, and it doesn't feel like we've been given that, but we've been given enough hints that it's kind of like, oh well, there's more.
Where's another storyline? I feel bad for Mia.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Mia. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I get it with the dad. I appreciate that he set all these things up, but also like that forethought. That's kind of a lot of work that you had to do before you
Right.
died in order to set all this stuff up. But also, I feel bad for, for Mia, and she's the middle child, right? Mia's the middle child, and then you're literally putting her into a middle child syndrome situation where like, okay, dad did this for you, mom did this for you, and like I'm just sitting here in the middle, like
I have grandma.
right? I have grandma that we're not supposed to talk to. So
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting, but I do like the dynamic between the 3 of them.
Yes.
I like that they all have
Yes.
each other. I was super happy when like we found out that the brother, I was like, he's alive. That was crazy to me.
Yes. Yes. I do like that. That feels like it feels very real and cohesive for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Speaking of the sister, do we think maybe she is dead?
She'd better not be.
Well, I'm like, what would be so bad that Violet asked to have her memory wiped?
A lot of things.
But like, wouldn't that be the hardest?
It would be one of them. but
Especially if
also-
she felt responsible for it.
That could be it, but also she's going to do anything to protect Xaden. And so whatever he did, whatever he decided, because clearly he's no longer whatever. He's an initiate now. Is that
Of
what you become next?
this world, I don't know what the
Whatever he
next
becomes
step
next, he's
is.
whatever you become next. And so, obviously. So, she's going to protect him. And if she doesn't have any memories of whatever that thing is, there's no way she can,
Yeah.
I don't
Which
know.
I know we're gonna find out what happened.
In
Like,
however, like a year or
just
two
how.
down the road, 18 months later, like in real life,
Yeah.
not in book life. So, I don't know. I have thoughts, I have feelings. Overall, I liked the series. I would recommend it, right? I would recommend it
Yeah.
to other people. It's a
Yeah.
good
It's a
fantasy
good,
dragon series.
easy, great, like to get lost in for a little
Yep.
while, but also not so serious that, I mean, it might ruin your dreams if you read it too close to bedtime.
I'm telling
But
you, you might. I still want a Broccoli the Fierce t-shirt. Those of you who have read it will know what that means. I saw that online the other day. It was just little cat, Broccoli the Fierce. And I was like, I need a broccoli shirt. Like, I completely agree with his naming strategy. But it's also one of those that like I have a couple of like off note ACOTAR shirts that like if I wear it, it looks just like a band T-shirt, or it looks like whatever. But somebody who has read the books would know what it is. That's what the
picks up
broccoli
on
shirt
it.
feels like to
Yes.
me. You know what
Yes.
I mean? I
It's an
like that kind
inside
of thing.
joke.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna find my people in the wild.
yeah, exactly. Or if you wear like a War College shirt, right? If I just had like one of those normal collegiate T-shirts that just has the name of the college on it, I'm like, yeah, I'd wear that. I'd wear the heck out of that. No one's gonna know. No one will know unless they know.
Right. You
So,
will know if you know. If you know, you know.
right. I wear a Bone Carver t-shirt. I think I had one on yesterday. It literally says Bone Carver on it. It looks like a band. It looks like just a regular like metal band sort of thing, but it's
Yeah.
definitely not,
It's definitely not.
right? But I would totally recommend
Yeah.
the series. I don't know if it's one I'll need to read again. I think when the next book comes out, I might skim through part of it just to like regain my balance and my bearings. But I don't know that I'll sit down and consume the whole thing. I have
Yeah.
so many other things to read
I
right
don't
now.
think it'll matter. You're gonna feel lost getting into it because I did. I felt very lost in the next book, and I was like, or like in the second book, and I was like,
Wait, what happened?
did I miss something? Like, are we just not? And then felt it again in the third book, and I was like, okay,
We just jump into
we're
every
just,
single one.
yes, yes. You have no warning. It picks up where the other one left off, but not like
Directly
right where
after.
the other one left off. So
Right,
now
you're
we're
a
gonna
little bit
like go
of
back and fill in. Yeah.
exactly.
So that bothered me a little bit. So I think that'll probably bode well though when the other one comes out in a year and a half, because I don't know, maybe you'll remember some of the heavy points, maybe you
Yeah.
won't. Like, but also it won't matter.
Well, seeing as though I missed a very big portion of the last battle, I probably have to go read those
Apparently.
pages again.
Yeah.
And and then I will also say the spice level in this one was not something I felt like I had to skip over, right? Like sometimes you read a book and you're like, I'm skipping these pages. I know what happens. It was done very in like a way that was written super passionately, but not in a way where I was like, I can't be seen reading this. Like I feel embarrassed. Like I didn't, there was no secondhand
Yes.
embarrassment, but there was very much like you could tell the way they felt about each other and like the bond and things like that. And I think it was cool that they used different facets of like the mind speak and the other things like the power they had and things like that. I thought it was nice that it all intertwined. It didn't feel like you were
Yes.
just throwing it in there to throw it in there. It felt like a part of the book and actually added to their relationship.
Yes. And the fact that everybody else commented on it, like
Yes.
everybody else, like their circle of friends,
Yes.
like they all kind of, they're like, oh, well, they're looking at each other or they're doing that weird mind speak
They're
thing
doing that thing where
again.
they act
Like,
like no
don't
one's
mind
here.
that, So,
Yeah.
like, that really helped solidify that this was how they were
Yeah.
together. And, like, you could feel the caring and the love and the longing and everybody picked up on it. So I did appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I also love Rhiannon and Riddick. I think they're great as friends and as people who
Yes.
like hold her shit together. Riddick really developed in the fourth or the third book. He
Yes.
became. I
Yes.
appreciate that he became somebody who was more than a class clown. Like I get that that's part
Yeah.
of his what he is and who he
That's
is.
his persona.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I also appreciate that he's like, look, I know that I'm like a cut up. He's like, but I'm also able to be super serious.
Yeah. I feel like that we get more of him in book 3, and I do feel like the next books are going to focus a little bit more on the supporting
I hope
people,
so. Yeah.
because we're being introduced, like Imogene, like what she did at the end of book 3. I think that's going to be a huge piece of the story in the next book. Also, Riddick, he was the, what do they call it? Not a traveler, but something like that.
Garrick?
Wasn't Riddick the,
Garrick
oh, was
travels.
it Garrett? Okay,
Garrick.
okay, it was Garrett.
Garrick
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
travels. Riddick can turn bodies to ice from the inside.
That's right, that's
He
right.
did
He
that to the wyvern.
controls that.
Yes.
Yes, 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 that was right. But I think we're gonna start like all of these other supporting people are gonna start like
Yes.
drawing in a
Which
little
is I'm
closer,
excited. Like I'm excited about that.
which
We
I do
did,
enjoy.
if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, we lost Quinn. Yes.
Yes.
I loved Quinn. I loved Quinn.
Quinn and uh we've actually lost a couple.
We have lost a couple. I think Quinn I
And I
felt the
was
most in
like,
that last battle.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh, this is not like you usually don't lose your main characters."
Right, but
So
she
I'm
was one of the
like,
core group.
that's what I'm saying. Like, why? Why?
Yeah, I'm excited
Why?
that
Why
Sawyer
are we doing this?
got back on the horse, got back on the dragon. Proud of him. Super proud of
Yes.
Sawyer for doing it. And also proud of
Yes.
the friend group for pushing him toward it to be like, look, we get it, but like get your ass back on a dragon. Like we have
But
things to do.
also like this is who you are.
You really don't have any other
You'll figure
options.
it out.
It's not like you're gonna
You'll
go be a
just
scribe.
figure it out.
Get on the
Right?
dragon.
Get your ass on the dragon.
Get your ass on the dragon. So,
Yes.
but yeah,
Yeah, so I feel very complete. I feel fine with where things are. I have no longing. I have none of that. Um, I think I'm good, with the series. I'm fine with it. I'm not as stressed as I've seen people online, and now I don't have to scroll quickly
right?
when I see spoilers. Now I can like enjoy them and be like, "Oh yeah, I get that. I
I
get
I
that.
was excited the first time one of them came up on like an Instagram scroll, and I was like, I can watch this. Like I know
I
what's
can
going
watch this
on.
now. I can align with you. I
I can
can
tell you how I
relate to what you're
feel.
saying." It's like Onyx Storm spoilers, and I'm like, "Yes, please.
Right?
I
Please
am in
do
on
that.
this."
Somebody had put up a comment because they were reading, I think they were reading Iron Flame, and they were like, and they just said, Xaden, what's the plan here, bud? and I wrote back and I was like, so many options, none of them great.
Right?
Like that was what I just wrote. Like that was a comment, and they just like did a crying like a oh no face, and I was like, just wait. So many
Just
choices, none of them are gonna be awesome. Enjoy.
no. But in true Xaden fashion, that's not what we're going for.
Nope, nope. So again, yes to the book series, yes to all of the spoilers now, and I am
Yes.
yes to the next book. So let's just get that one kicked out. Okay. Oh, and they're
I
doing a
will
show.
read it.
They're
I
doing a
will
show.
not be standing in like a midnight release line. I'm not
Oh, I
that
don't
like,
think I've done a midnight release line in a very long time. I am a little too old for
no,
that, I think.
like I'm good. I'm not gonna pre-order, I'm
Yeah.
like, if I come across it, great. If I have time for it in my stack of TBRs.
Yeah, usually I'll just go to my local bookshop and pick it up there because
Good.
I know that they'll eventually have it, and if they have a copy for me, I'll pick it up. So I'm
Right?
excited about
Yes.
that to see that come forward. And
Yes.
I think it's an HBO show that she's working on. I think she's
Is it
been,
HBO? Yeah,
it's one of
I
them. I
didn't know
want to
who
say it was
was.
HBO, but I could be wrong. But she is doing a show, which
I
I'm
didn't
excited
know
to
who
see.
got it, but yeah. And she said she had already read the pilot and was like very excited about it because she said the writer, and now I can't remember the name.
Of the
She
book,
said she
Rebecca
of
Yarros.
the pilot.
Oh, of the pilot. Okay.
No, no, no. Rebecca was talking on
Okay.
her book tour about the thing, and she said that she had read the pilot. Uh, it's 3 names: Margaret Riley Proctor, something. It's
Hey,
like
I
that.
have no idea. So,
But she said she did such a great job capturing like the essence, all the lines. She said all the lines that you love are in there, and she really did it justice with the writing. Like she captured it, and she said, I think she specifically said I was kicking my feet the whole time
oh, I love that. I just got chills.
reading
What a
it.
nice compliment.
So I'm like, okay, maybe we'll do this some justice. Although I will say, if I have to see the dragons in like real CGI form, it's going to ruin my little Land Before Time Stegosaurus of Andarna.
It will, but you might still like it because we're going to love Andarna no matter what.
Right.
Right. And she changes anyways. So I don't know. I really enjoy her. I enjoy her a lot. And I think, did you know that Rebecca has been married to her husband since they were 19, or has been with her husband since they were 19? And so parts of him, like parts of his personality, make their way into all of her main characters, all of her hero characters, which I think is super sweet.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she's actually written a bunch before
so many books. Yeah, I think she's got like 20 or something like that. A lot of books.
Yeah. So very interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on that note, have you read Fourth Wing? I hope if you're here at this point, you have read Fourth Wing, at least one of the books, and we haven't ruined everything for you. What did you think? Like,
we did warn you.
Right? Did you blow through them like we did?
Did you miss Andarna coming back unexpectedly?
Right, because I did. I'm telling you, I did. I have to go back and look.
Yes.
Because I did. I think I sat down, I had half a book left, and I was like, and half a book is not a little bit of book. Half a book is a good amount of book.
Not with these books.
No. And then I got to like the finger pinch place and I was like, now I have to finish it. Like it's going to be a 1 a.m. night. I finished it by 11, but I had to finish it. So I did definitely fly through the end of it because I was like, I just want to know. So understandable. Yes. But we appreciate that you all were here with us through this part of the journey, and let us know what you thought when you read it. And, if you
how you feel about it.
Yeah, how you feel.
Now that
where would you be? Like what's your signet? I need to know because I still don't know what mine is.
I don't know.
But
it's going to take some thought.
Until then, we'll see you on the next one, and happy reading.
Bye.
It was great to have you join us for today's chat. If you'd like to continue the conversation, provide a recommendation, or simply say hi, pop over to Instagram at wine.read.wine, or leave us a comment on our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next episode. Happy reading!